By the time this video reaches you, chances are you are already aware of many of the provisions of the Union Budget for FY27. If you haven't found the time to check the budget yet, don't worry. We have prepared a crisp summary of the budget in our previous video. You can watch it and within 15 minutes, you will be on top of most updates. The link is in the description. But for the long-term investors, a mere summary of budget provision isn't enough. They need to sift through the numerous provisions of the Union Budget and pick the one that hold the most promise for the years to come. And at ET Money, we make this task easier for them by doing the heavy lifting. In this video also, we will discuss 3 themes that hold a lot of promise for the future. And why just themes? We will tell you companies that are best placed to profit from these themes so that you have a ready-made research list available to you. And that's what makes this video a must-watch. Hello and welcome to the ET Money's YouTube channel. We did a similar exercise in the previous budget too, when we brought to you 3 interesting long-term themes. These themes have attracted much attention over the last year. If you want to know more about these themes, you can watch our video. The link, once again, is in the description. What differentiates this video from the previous one is that this time we won't discuss the much talked about themes. So we won't be talking about semiconductors or biopharma or defense or infrastructure. This time our focus is on overlooked structural themes because these themes have always been around. They may not get as much attention as the emerging themes. But given the impetus these themes have received in the budget, they shouldn't be ignored. They can very well prove to be a dark horse in the time to come. So without any further delay, let's dive right into the first key theme. Textile is perceived to be a boring, low-growth sector, but in the FY27 budget, it found a place among the 7 strategic and frontier sectors, among the likes of biopharma, semiconductors, electronic components manufacturing, and rare earths. The question that arises here is what makes textile strategic. The textile sector is important from the perspective of employment generation, export competitiveness, raw material self-reliance, and regional development. It is the second largest employer in India and employs an estimated 4.5 crore directly and 5.5 crore people indirectly. The sector contributes about 2.3% to India's GDP, 13% to industrial production, and 12% to exports. The sector also has a critical role to play in the government's overall objectives of Make in India, Skill India, women's empowerment, rural youth employment, and inclusive growth. However, on the global stage, the sector is dominated by China, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, with China alone cornering about a third of overall market. That's why textile has been noted as a strategic and frontier sector. In terms of budget allocations, while there's a dip of 8.5% in the allocation to the textile sector with respect to the last year, the allocation is about twice as much as in FY25. The key announcements made for the textile sector in the latest budget include an integrated program with 5 subparts: the National Fiber Scheme, Textile Expansion and Employment Scheme, a National Handloom and Handicraft Program, Tex Eco Initiative, and Samarth 2.0. Further, mega textile parks are to be set up and a scheme called Mahatma Gandhi Gram Swaraj Initiative will be launched to strengthen khadi, handloom and handicrafts. If we check the previous budgets, in the Union Budget for FY26, a mission for cotton productivity was announced to facilitate significant improvements in productivity and sustainability of cotton farming. In the FY25 budget, to enhance the competitiveness of exports in the leather and textile sector, cuts in the basic custom duty and exemptions were announced. Within the listed space, there is no dearth of textile stocks. On your screen are the textile stock in the BSE 500 index, along with their key financials. A look at the revenue and sales growth over the last 3 years suggests a lack of growth. Given that, the PE ratio appears to be elevated. Most stocks have also corrected over the last 1 year. This is what makes textile a perfect contra bet. If the budget provisions do result in a better prospects for the sector, textile stocks can surprise investors. Now that said, please note that any of these stocks or any stocks discussed in this video are not our automatic recommendations. The idea is to give you a list of beneficiaries of the themes we are discussing so that you can research further. So do your own due diligence before buying any stock. This brings us to the next theme. But before that, here is something important. You can find the financial data of all listed companies, including balance sheets, income statement, cash flow statement, and ratios on ET Money website and app. Plus, you can find other useful data too, such as shareholding information, peer comparison, technicals, and corporate actions. Just type the name of the stock you are researching in the search bar and hit enter. It's well known that services are a major contributor to India's GDP. As per the Economic Survey 2025-26, the share of services of India's GDP as of the first half of FY26 stood at 53.6%. The Union Budget for FY27 has placed a renewed emphasis on the services sector to provide a pathway to fulfilling aspirations of the youthful India. The government has set itself the ambitious goal of becoming a global leader in services with a 10% global share by 2047. Within the services sector, the tourism sector is an important component. According to IBEF and World Travel and Tourism Council, India's travel and tourism GDP reached rupees 20.9 lakh crore in 2024, up 20% from 2019 and accounting for 6.6% of the GDP. It is expected to rise to rupees 41.9 lakh crore by 2035, thus contributing 10.9% to GDP. Tourism supported about 4.7 crore jobs in 2024, which was 9.1% of India's employment. This contribution is expected to reach nearly 6.4 crores by 2035. Honestly, you don't need data to see the rising tide of tourism. Today, holidaying and tourism have become a part of lifestyle. They might have been considered a luxury a decade ago, but now they are becoming a necessity, right? In terms of budgetary allocation, the allocation to Ministry of Tourism has nearly doubled over the last year. As compared to FY25, it's a massive 14 times jump. The FY27 Union Budget is lavish on tourism-related proposal. First, a National Institute of Hospitality will be set up as a bridge between academia, industry, and government. Second, a pilot scheme will be introduced to upskill 10,000 guides in 20 iconic tourist sites. Third, a National Destination Digital Knowledge Grid will be established to digitally document all places of significance, cultural, spiritual, and heritage. Fourth, to offer world-class trekking and hiking experience, mountain trails, turtle trails, and bird-watching trails will be developed. Fifth, 15 archaeological sites will be developed into vibrant, experiential cultural destinations. Sixth, now 5 tourism destinations will be developed in 5 Purvodaya states, namely Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. Seventh, a seaplane facility gap funding scheme will be introduced to provide operational support to indigenize the manufacturing of seaplanes. If we see the past union budgets, there have been key announcements for tourism there as well. The Union Budget for FY26 sought to develop 50 tourist destination sites in the country. The budget for FY25 set itself a target to develop the Vishnupad Temple and Mahabodhi Temple corridors in Rajgir and Nalanda in Bihar, along with Odisha's scenic beauty, temple monuments, craftsmanship, wildlife sanctuaries, natural landscape, and pristine beaches. The budget also proposed a simpler tax regime for foreign shipping companies operating domestic cruises in the country. Let's also take a look at the listed companies in the tourism space. As a theme, tourism encompasses a wide range of stocks, including hotels, resorts, railways, and government tourism services, online travel agencies, travel services and distribution, and even airlines. On your screen is a non-exhaustive list of such companies, along with their key financials. Unlike textile, tourism companies have a high revenue and profit growth figures, which indicates the tailwind these companies are enjoying. However, do note that the PE ratios appear quite stretched in most cases, and that too after several stocks have undergone a correction over the last 1 year. So while textile can act as a value or contra play, tourism is a classic growth or momentum play as of now. Again, do research the stocks thoroughly before investing in them. None of the stocks mentioned are our recommendations. This brings us to the third and the final theme. The importance of railways to the country's economy can be gauged from the fact that the railway budget used to be a separate from the union budget. This practice continued for about 92 years when the railway budget was merged into the main union budget. But while the railway budget has been merged, that doesn't undermine the importance of railways to the nation. Economic Survey 26 called Indian Railways the backbone of India's freight and energy logistics. Apart from being an affordable and accessible mode of transport, railways are also crucial as industrial and agricultural support, infrastructure and regional integration, strategic defense and disaster management, and employment generation. Including internal and extra budgetary resources for FY27, a mammoth rupees 2.93 lakh crore has been allocated to railways, which is higher than the previous year's 2.65 lakh crore by about 11%. In the union budget for FY27, one of the key announcements relates to railways. The government has planned 7 high-speed rail corridors between cities as growth connectors. Previously, in the budget for FY26, the development of domestic MROs for railway goods was introduced. MRO stands for Maintenance, Repairs and Operations. This budget measure was designed to encourage the development of a domestic maintenance and repair ecosystem for railway equipment, reducing India's dependence on foreign MRO services and promoting domestic manufacturing capabilities in the railway sector. As far as the budget-related stocks are concerned, they have earned themselves a tactical tag owing to the greater activity in them around the union budget. However, as we saw, railway isn't just a tactical theme. Given the strategic importance of Indian railways, rail stocks should be seen as a long-term structural bets. Like tourism stocks, railway stocks belong to a variety of shades. There are rail infrastructure and project execution companies, then there are rolling stock manufacturers, followed by railway-related financiers and services companies. And finally, there are rail ancillary suppliers. A non-exhaustive list of such companies is mentioned on your screen, along with their key financials. In terms of growth, the basket of railway stocks is a mixed bag. Companies such as IRCTC, Jupiter Wagons, RailTel, and Titagarh stands out. In terms of valuations, there appear to be no cheap bets. However, valuation must be seen in light of business and financial strength, and that's where you need to research. All stocks have corrected over the last 1 year, which can provide you a good entry point. But remember, none of these stocks are our recommendation. If you are interested in exploring more investment themes for your portfolio, apart from our previous budget videos, we discussed 3 emerging industries in this video too. As usual, the link is in the description. And with this, I have come to the end of this video. Hope you liked it. If yes, do like, share and comment. I will be back soon with another insightful video. Until then, take care.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.